And I think it's very important for everybody to be engaged because that everybody's on the same page.
It's about, who's willing to change gears at the right time.
Go out, go have fun, and just take it to them.
For Wheeling University Athletics, I'm Zach Ziegler. It's time for another edition of the Zac Bruney Show. Currently joined by Wheeling University head football coach Zac Bruney. And Zach, guys battled a tough Frostburg State team on Saturday, not coming out on the winning end. But what lessons do you learn from that matchup?
Well, there's a lot. You learn probably more from losses than you do wins. There's a lot to learn. There's a lot to take from it. There's a lot to get better at. But the bottom line is, I personally, as a coach, I got to have our guys more ready to play. And as a head coach, I feel like I failed at that this past weekend. We were not fully ready to play. We didn't have a good start. And against a good team like that, you fall behind early. Our guys, it wasn't about playing hard because we certainly played hard. We played tough. We kept battling, like you said. We played a much better second half. But I'm putting this one on me where we weren't ready to play, and I got to find a better way to get our guys out of the gates better, and we're going to work on that and continue to improve and learn from it and go from there. But I'm taking full responsibility for that one.
And late in the game, you guys put together a few good drives there at the end. Adeo Lanigan hitting 2 touchdown passes late. Talk about those 2 drives and kind of how important that was to finish strong.
Well, we got some rhythm, and we were making plays. We were executing. That was, we had, I believe, 4 drives. Coach McNeely talked to the offense about this yesterday in our meetings. We had 4 drives of over 9 plays, and we didn't get any points. So we were moving the football. We just weren't finishing. And, we lost the red zone battle. We only scored twice out of 4 tries in the red zone. They were able to get 3 scores in the red zone, 2 touchdowns and a field goal, and our defense held them once. So that was a tell of the game. The third down money down situation was a little bit in their favor, but it wasn't a drastic difference. The special teams battle was pretty even, a little bit in their favor, and we had the turnover margin. We lost the time of possession battle, and we lost the penalty battle. We had way too many penalties. Again, things that I need to do better for our team to improve. But yeah, we battled. We got some good drives towards the end. We made some plays. We kept fighting. We had an onside kick opportunity that we almost got. Our defense got some stops in the second half. We got the ball back more. We turned them over. We played really hard. It just, we lacked execution, for that first quarter and a half. And against a good team like that, you dig yourself that type of hole. There's not too many teams in the country that can get out of that. So we just got to find a way to start better.
And you mentioned that defense winning the turnover margin. They've been captained by Jeff Deska lately. He had another big game on defense, 14 tackles. Talk about his leadership and how that's kind of helped solidify that side of the ball.
Well, Jeff is a really smart football player. He's experienced. He's a transfer. He's a first-time starter for us, but he's not a first-time starter in Division II college football. He was at another Division II school the last couple of years. He played a lot of football prior to being here with us. He's an older guy. He's got a lot of talent, but he's very cerebral. He's smart. He understands leverage, and he knows the game well. And he's aggressive, and he's a really good tackler, and that's what you want from a middle linebacker. He's performing at a very high level, and a lot of guys individually right now are performing at a very high level, especially on defense. But we have to play complementary football better. Offense, defense, and special teams collectively, we gotta win more possessions, start to finish. But Jeff's doing a really good job, and in that Mike linebacker position, you're kind of in a quarterback / captain role on defense, and he's doing a great job of it.
And one thing I've noticed the last couple of weeks, you guys have really excelled at is the 2-minute offense. You've gotten a lot of big plays when you're in hurry up mode. Talk about that 2-minute drill and kind of how you guys work that.
Well, we practice it. You got to practice situational football. We've practiced 2-minute. We've practiced coming out. We had a situation where we had a coming out scenario last Saturday. We were on the -1 yard line, right? And, well, that's something that we've practiced over, fall camp, spring ball, early season periods. We do it pretty much every week in one segment of our team periods where we get a coming out period, both when we're on defense and on offense. So we were able to flip the field position, and we got a good drive out of that coming out period, and we didn't get it finished. Same with our 2-minute scenario. End of the first half last week, we had an opportunity to do that with a little shorter amount of time this past Saturday, but we worked some end of game scenarios as well. So our guys practice it, and when you practice it and you execute it well in practice, you can execute it well in the game, and they have done a good job with some 2-minute scenarios throughout the season.
Currently joined by Wheeling University head football coach Zac Bruney. And Zac, your last home game coming up, so you get a chance to honor this senior class here on Saturday. Talk about these seniors this season and kind of their impact on the program.
Well, they're first of all really good young men. 5 of them are grad students right now, fifth-year seniors, grad students that have decided to finish out their eligibility with us versus going someplace else, which is kind of rare in college football nowadays, especially with the ability of grad transferring in the transfer portal or, playing some good football for 2 or 3 years and going someplace else. We have a lot of fourth-year guys that have put a lot of time, effort, and energy. And the message to the guys last weekend after the game and the immediacy and, you're emotional and, you feel bad about a tough loss against a really good team. Turn the page. Learn from our mistakes, learn from the film, but we owe a lot to the guys that are older in this program. Yes, it's the last 4 quarters at home that are guaranteed this fall of 25, but there's been a lot of work in that venue for years prior, weeks prior, months prior, the winter workouts in the stadium in February at 6 a.m. when it's pretty cold and you're flipping tires and pushing sleds and pulling rope. The summer conditioning, the summer camps. So within the stadium itself, games are what gets noticed by everybody outside because that's what everybody comes to, right? The families, the community, the people on our campus. But there's been a lot of time, effort, and energy and sweat and hard work that is poured into what we've done within our own facility and our own venue for a lot of years. And for 4 quarters on Saturday for 60 minutes or more, we owe it to those guys to be at our best, and hopefully we will do that, and we'll work that way this week in practice.
And you guys getting ready to take on a Concord team that's had a great season so far. Talk about the Mountain Lions and kind of some of their matchups.
They're much improved. They got a new coaching staff. They're good. They got a really good quarterback. They got some really explosive receivers. They're explosive on offense. They got some guys that can go. 2 running backs are really good. They got some good tight ends. Their offensive line is gaining experience. That they got some players on offense that make them go. Defensively, they're athletic. They bring pressure. They have a really good nickel defender that's kind of all over the place. That makes a ton of plays for them. Their safeties run and hit, and their corners are good in coverage. And they have some big D linemen, and they got some experienced linebackers that we've played against in the past couple of years. So they provide a really big challenge. They've pretty much been in every game that they've played this year, win or loss. They've been very, very competitive, and they are much improved. And they're going to be another tough opponent on Saturday, just like any other Saturday in the Mountain East right now. There's a lot of parity, and you got to be ready to play.
And finally, get ready to turn the calendar to November, your final 3 games of the season. Talk about these last 3 weeks and kind of how you guys are battling to stay in this race.
Well, that's it right there. We're in the race, and we're playing football, at a high level late in the season. We've won some close games. We've lost a couple tough games, but each week provides its own challenge, and that's the case again this week. We can't focus on what has happened because that's over, and we can't really control what's going to happen in the next 3 weeks other than what's in front of us on Saturday. So, yeah, three more games, that are guaranteed within the conference race, but we got to focus on the task at hand, and that's a really good Concord team that's going to come up here on Saturday, and I know they'll be ready to play, and I expect our guys to respond and play the right way as well.
Thanks, Zach. Good luck this week. Can't wait to see you out there.
We appreciate it. Thank you.
For Wheeling University Athletics, I'm Zach Ziegler.
And I think it's very important for everybody to be engaged because that everybody's on the same page.
It's about, who's willing to change gears at the right time.
Go out, go have fun, and just take it to them.